Welcome everybody, Level M Diecast. It is batch review time. Yes, Matchbox DK's mix number 4 for 2025. Kicking it off with number 50 of 125. This is the Road Roller. This is a generic casting. Was a new casting quite a few years ago. This uses a reoccurring deco that we have seen before on a couple of models. So we'll go ahead and crack this one open right now. This original deco debuted on the Stripe King. The Road Stripe King is what it was called. So there is your Road Stripe King to match the deco on this. I particularly like this one having the gray drum. I think the gray drum is a really nice offset. Normally that's the same color as the wheels. Usually it's just a black drum. Looks pretty good. There's some deets on the base. Nothing particularly fancy. 1289, of course, is your man number. Some fine print on there. Not sure if we can quite get to that print right there to see what it says, but it is sort of in there. But unit number 3, a pretty decent one. It's definitely good for a generic. It's also good for a construction truck for sure. Not too shabby. All right, moving on to a licensed model. There's only I think there's only one other generic in this mix. 94 of 125. This is your Citroen EC4. Debuted last year as a new casting in kind of a bluish kind of teal color. This one looks significantly better in orange. The card art looks pretty good too. It's very, very Matchbox-esque. So we'll get this one out of here. Crack this guy right here. Get him out of here. There is our Citroen EC4. This one is pretty decent. I think the casting's fine. Obviously, you know, this is a European car, not really tailored to the U.S. market. Obviously, styling is a little bit quirky. Citroen is known for some quirky styling. They've made some very interesting models over the years, but the prints on this one look pretty good. It does have a clear roof. It's pretty standard for a lot of the crossovers that Matchbox is doing. It just makes it easier, basically, on the construction. There is some base deets right there. 1425 for this one in its second color. Just the second color we've been seeing for that guy. All right, SUV crossovers continued with Alfa Romeo. This is number 49 of 125. This is the Tonale, the 2023 Tonale. This is the second color. Debuted last year in a really nice metallic green. This one looks like it's like the base model, you know, like the very, very cheapest Alfa you can buy, the lowest trim level of it. It just looks like that. You know, it screams like the smaller wheels, just the basic body details, you know, nothing flashy about it, which is actually kind of cool. You know, it's something that Matchbox is pretty known for, which is good. There is some deets in the back. There is your Tonale, and of course the Alfa logo, which actually is pretty legible for the small print that it has on there. And this is, you know, just typical pad printing and stuff like that. So nothing particularly fancy. It looks pretty good from the front. Looks like an owl or something staring down at you. Not too shabby. Base deets right there. 1445 is the man number for the Tonale, which is an average model. It's not the greatest model. All right, moving on to something pretty cool. 120 of 125. Yes, Porsche. Good old Porsche. 1985 Porsche 911 Rally. This one in a nice turquoise color. Card art looks fantastic as always. Great card art for this for sure. This is one of those models that you do have to kind of give and take when it comes to deco print, which is unfortunate. There's no deco print on the side, which I think is perfectly fine, but there is no deco print on the back, which is rough because there's really no casting details to this one. So yeah, you know there's a tail light bar there, but you can't really see where it's supposed to be. So that is definitely unfortunate. What we do get is some pretty nice print on the top for the jerry can, the spare tire, stuff like that. And it has a white or silverish white kind of print for the wheel rim, which is interesting. I think they did that purposely to try to offset it since these are black hubs on the utilities here. And then we get a little bit of front print, which is good. Take the front print. It's very minimal, but we'll take it. And of course there is a Porsche symbol in there, but you could never, you know, make out that Porsche symbol no matter what you do. Then there is our base deets right there. 1185 is the number. This casting is a bit older by now. This is definitely not the best deco we've seen for that one, but it's a pretty good one. I think the one in black was by far better, but that one is still pretty good. All right, brand spanking new casting for the mix, 123 of 125, yes, new for 2025. A school bus, a very, very interesting choice. This one's an EV school bus, but it looks like a traditional school bus. It doesn't look, super generic. It doesn't look super kiddyified. Last time Matchbox has done their own, school buses, the Hero City eras, those were terrible, and they just were not very good buses at all. But this one being a new casting, this one is a generic. Does use the disc hub wheels just in black, which I think looks good. The casting, it appears the entire top section here is metal, but the rest of the entire casting is plastic. There is the base deets. MBX school bus right there. 1522 is your brand spanking new man number. It looks decent. It looks like a actual school bus. I mean, that looks pretty good. I think the scaling is pretty decent. The backside here is all plastic, so just a little bit of details in there in the plastic. But it does have print on the side, Matchbox School District. It does say EV Bus on the front. There's a stop sign on the backside on the driver's side. Maybe that's what they put on school buses now. I don't know. But it does have one on the proper spot on the passenger side, as you'd expect. And, of course, the doors right there. So the entire side piece is just a huge piece of plastic. All the yellow you see on here is printed on the flat plastic. So if you were to scrub all this print off of there, it would just be a clear piece of plastic, which is a very interesting design. It's a very interesting design. It's okay. It's a bit skinny too. I mean, that's expected. I mean, the scales are ridiculously far off, but it's not bad for a new casting. It's not bad. It really is not bad. All right, even more crossover stuff. Volkswagen this time, 92 of 125. This is your Volkswagen ID4. I especially like this card art because this card art is very specifically not the actual wheels on the model. It's not the Matchbox wheels. It's almost like it's like factory wheel type of thing. Actually looks kind of cool. I don't know why I like that card art so much, but I just think that card art looks especially nice for this particular one. So there is our Volkswagen ID4. This one in a metallic green looks very, very good. Still retains the silver print along the top of the doors for the roof line right there. Of course, the whole roof is plastic. Details in the back look good. A little bit of silver print. Of course, full taillight bar, Volkswagen logo. And then, of course, we saw full front prints on this one. They look good. Details are pretty good. The D10s look pretty good on this one as well. So this little print on the top, that might be a requirement from Volkswagen. So this one is kind of required to get four-sided tampos. And if that's the case, then so be it. Lucky for Volkswagen that they get that flexibility in there. All right, next one up, a little bit of police action. 75 of 125. Yes, when Matchbox used to be only 75 models. Ford right here. This is the brand new Ford Police Interceptor Utility. This is the new casting that debuted. I think it was last year. Was the first year we had it for Peel Medical, something medical. It's up there. It's up there. But this one is in San Diego Deco Police. Yes, they've done San Diego on the previous Interceptors that they've done as well. So this is not the first time seeing San Diego. However, it is the first time seeing it on this particular casting. So nice to see they're kind of moving up with the times. It says America's Finest to protect and serve. There's the shield on the side. San Diego Police right there on your quarter panel. No attempt at a front light print on the corner, nothing. I really like that they did that. However, they did do that on the back. So a little bit of taillight print, just try to get it on the side. If you look at it directly from the back, you cannot see any taillight print. But from the side, it looks pretty good. You know, a little bit taillight print in there. It's nothing particularly fancy. This is a great casting. This is significantly better than the original Interceptor casting they did. It's wider. It's much more appropriate in its size. It also doesn't have a tow hitch. I think it was important to take the tow hitch off of it. I'm sure people probably wanted it. It does have a tow bar in there, which is interesting, but not an actual tow hitch proper. There is the base seats right there. 1440 was, of course, the man number, but a very, very good casting. I really, really hope that we get this casting in premium sooner than later. I think that would be a great addition to the collector line. Let me know. All right, moving on from that, some classic action. 72 of 125, good old classic Chevy Camaro. This is the convertible. This was a new casting, basically, a couple years ago. 1969 Camaro SS 396, modified from technically the original one that came out in 1996, which was a Tyco era casting, which was a big old wide behemoth. So they shrunk it down significantly, which I thought was important. It wasn't pertinent, but it was important. This is a decent casting. It's not that great with some of the choices that they did on it. I do like the fact that the taillights are part of the interior, so you get a little bit of color break on there. It says SS on the back. Doesn't look very Camaro-esque in the back, though. Uses the tri-spokes, which I think is perfectly fine. The front end looks really good. Does have the exposed headlights. The previous one that they did for the Tyco era had the hideaways. And, of course, there is your dual white stripes on there. And a okay interior. It's an okay interior for being a convertible, but nothing really that fancy, to be honest. There is the base deeds. You see 1996, original copyright date 2021 was when this casting was retooled. It is MB302, and you see it still has the original man number. But if you put these two castings next to each other, they are nowhere even remotely close to being the same thing in any way, shape, or form. But I do find it very, very funny that they still put that in there. And, of course, you know we're at the 1,500 range for the man numbers now, so seeing something in the 300s just tells you just how old that particular casting really was. All right, moving on. 1968 Chevy TC10. Yes, some more old school action. 110 of 125. This one in gold. This one was a red edition at Target earlier this year. That is a red edition I still don't have. So if you watch my batch reviews, that was actually supposed to be in batch B, batch number 2, mix number 2. That was supposed to be in there, but unfortunately it's not. So this is the regular mainline version right here. Again, that card art is just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So throw this away. There is our Chevy C10 in this brilliant, brilliant gold. Look at the prints on it. The prints are fantastic. They look really, really, really good. The debut of this casting in the baby blue looked a little bit weird. It just looked weird. There's a short overhang on the back. But the gold one looks perfectly fine. I don't know why the color matters, but this one just looks a little bit more appropriate. Prints on the back look good. Chevrolet on there. It's not embossed. It's just printed in there. Unfortunately, I wish it was embossed, but it's just printed. And then a white colored base. Very difficult to see some details in there, but it is a white colored base. Looking through there, it does have your man number on there, which is 1430 as the man number, in a gray interior. It's a really good model. It's a really good model. I do like that one quite a bit. It is a pretty fancy one. We'll put that guy right there. And then the last model we have, the Dual. Yes, the Duals. There is a interior variation on this one. So this is number 22 of the mix. This, of course, is your 90 Volkswagen Golf Country. They have used this in a 5-pack a couple times now. I think for the last 2 times they've used this casting. So it's nice to get it in the single pack so you can chase down that interior variation in there. This is a derivative of, pretty much several versions we've gotten so far of this particular casting in yellow and stuff like that. So this one is not like super original, but I think it's perfectly fine. It is a new color though. This is the first time we're seeing this particular color. Rough Rabbit on the side, Volkswagen Golf. It says Rough Rabbit 3, because of course we've already seen the original Rough Rabbit, which is right there, which is a pretty good one. And then of course the deco on the other side is the same. They do a little bit of taillight print there on the side. Nothing particularly fancy. Uses these small 6-spoke utility wheels. See if I can get the camera to cooperate. So if you look in the interior in the back there's a toolbox on the right side, and there's like, I don't know, something on the left side. So if we go do this, I'm pretty sure I got the right one. If not, I guess I can go try to find the correct one. But if you look in the back right here, it's kind of hard to see. So you still have the toolbox on the one side, but on this side, it's actually a chainsaw. So it's kind of hard to see. There's a chainsaw there on the left side, which would be the driver's side, and then on this one, it's like a skateboard maybe, or like a life raft or something like that. And there's a couple of tools kind of floating around. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt because it's really difficult to see in there. And of course, because the interior is black, it makes it even harder. This interior's been black almost its entire life. And I think Matchbox does that intentionally because the interior is also the spare tire and the front bumper guard here, and of course the over fenders. So it's a very interesting piece. So it kind of has to do a jack of all trades, so to speak. MB1038 is, of course, your number for your duals there. So we do have both of those. There are 2 of those in this particular case. So if you want to get both interior variations, you do have a shot. I will tell you that it took models from 2 separate cases for me to put those 2 together. I did not get one of each in one case. Just FYI. All right, last but not least, actually I have 3 things to go, but we're going to do one more model here. Yes, if you are super lucky, which I certainly was, if you watched the unboxing for this case, I did pull the chase. This is your second Super Chase of 2025. Number 2 of 4 Ford Chases scheduled this year. So there should be a pretty big lull, I would think, in the summertime, and then a couple of chases in the fall, I would assume, because these chases hit pretty quick. This is your Toyota 4Runner. So brand new chase for this year, 2025 chase. Looking very, very good. So we'll go ahead and get this cracked out of here for our Super Chase. Of course, the first one of the year was the Audi R8. So we'll get our 4Runner popped out of here. The card art doesn't really want to cooperate with me all that much right now. So there is your Toyota 4Runner Super Chase. Of course, it says SC on the side for Super Chase. It says SC again on the back for Super Chase. They really want to make sure you understand that it is a Super Chase. Prints on the front, pretty average. Same prints we've gotten on every single version of the 4Runner thus far, which is perfectly fine. We've also got the same details on the back, just not the SC plate on there saying Super Chase. It's actually a pretty underwhelming Super Chase, I'll be honest with you. It does use their newer off-road wheel, which is very, very nice, with some existing tread on there, but it is the newer off-road wheel, which looks really, really good on this casting. Of course, it's a plastic base, so nothing particularly fancy there. 1302 is, of course, the man number. This one will be super hype trained because the 4Runner is a super hype model. But as far as the Super Chase, I'm just being. I mean, it's meh. It's meh. Honestly, this is probably one of the lowest Super Chases they've done so far, in my opinion. I just don't think that it's all that great. It's a nice chase, but it's certainly not like top 5 for Matchbox chases or anything like that. Now, there's 2 other things to this mix. Now, there is a red edition in this mix. If you are lucky enough to pull this mix from Target, yes, you will get a Porsche 911 GT3. Really, really nice. Got dual white stripes on it. Target reds are so unbelievably hard to find this year. They've been really, really hard to find since like mid-2024. So it's been very, very difficult for me. So I do apologize that I don't physically have that model in hand to show. Additionally, there are some versions of this case. Most of them seem to be outside the U.S., but there are some of them that have a Renault Megane in there. It's a Renault Megane in white, which is something that I did not unbox in my cases, and I have not seen really anybody else unbox them, but they do exist. It comes in white. It is right here. So this model could or could not be sparse. Maybe it shows up in mix number 5, the E case. Maybe it shows up in mix number 7, which is the F case. I'm not sure. But I just want to point out that that is another model that is potentially included in this mix. Actually, it is included in this mix because some people have pulled it from the mix, mostly international markets. So be on the lookout for that one as well. So there you go. There is mix number 4. That is the D case for 2025 Matchbox. We are just crushing it this year, quarter of the way through the year, and we're 30 plus models in. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyways, drop a comment. Let me know what you think about that 4Runner. Let me know what you think about that batch. We will move on. Hopefully the next batch will come sooner than later. And can't wait to see what you guys' thoughts are on that particular batch. So we're going to roll out. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Come back. More diecast. More batch reviews. LMD. Peace.